Ashoka's relic stupa has been discovered, folks. Ashoka's relic stupa has been discovered. It is Mouldiar Tola. Mouldiar. See, basically, Mouldiar is a colony of Mokameh. Now, according to Xuan Zangs, next to the Ashoka's first sanghrama, which he made after a lot of thinking, that is Chintaman Chak. Xuan Zangs mispronounces it as Q Cha O Lan Mo. Q Cha O Lan Mo is Chintaman, and folks, Cha is Chak. So, folks, this is your mispronounced, Ashoka's first sanghrama. Now, Xuan Zangs says next to it is Ashoka's relic stupa, which he mispronounces as Omolokia. Now, remove the O. Just put Molokia, it becomes Molokia, and just next to Chintaman Chak, where I am headed just now, is Mouldiar. Molokia, Mouldiar. Molokia, Mouldiar. And Mouldiar means relics. Mouldiar means the rubbish you get from the charnel grounds. So, folks, that's the beauty of it. I am on my way. I have left Chintaman Chak, Ashoka's first sanghrama behind, and I am going to Mouldiar Tola in Mokameh. See, basically, Ashoka's relic stupa was a thing to break, not to live on. So, you needed a sanghrama nearby in which the monks in charge of the stupa and the pilgrims could stay. So, that is Mokameh. So, folks, that is Mokameh and Mouldiar Tola. The beauty of this is the descendants of Ashoka live on this, on the relic stupa itself. The descendants, because this is Mul means relics, and the people living on the stupa are of the Mouldiar subcaste of Brahmanism. They are of the Mouldiar subcaste of Brahmanism. That means they have received the mul. Their ancestors received the mul or the relics of Ashoka. So that means they were the descendants of Ashoka. So that is why they received the relics of Ashoka, and they took that as their Brahmanical caste, Mouldiar caste. So it's the Mouldiar subcaste of Brahmins living on Mouldiar Tola, which Xuan Zangs mispronounces as Molokia. And folks, this is the beauty of it. See Mouldiar Tola and see Ashoka's descendants. Now, my Buddhist friends, I have showed you Ashoka's first sanghrama, that is Chintaman Chak, mispronounced by Xuan Zangs as Q Cha O Lan Mo, which the translator translated as Kukutarama. Boy, that's a big laugh. Kukutarama, is it an Indian word? It sounds Indian, but it isn't an Indian word. Chintaman Chak. Chintaman Chak. Chintaman means to do a lot of thinking, a lot of deep thinking, and then decide. Now, proof that Chintaman Chak is Ashoka's first sanghrama is Ashoka's relic stupa. Ashoka's relic stupa. Because after saying where Ashoka's first sanghrama is, Xuan Zangs tells us where his relic stupa is, and according to him, it is next to the sanghrama. That means it is next to Chintaman Chak. Now he calls the relic stupa Omolokia. Omolokia. Folks, next to the Chintaman Chak is Mokameh town. Mokameh town. And in Mokameh town is a colony called Mouldiar Tola. Omolokia Mouldiar. Omolokia Mouldiar, just next to Chintaman Chak. Now Mouldiar, it sounds similar to Xuan Zangs' Omolokia, but it has a meaning which is more serious. Mul means relics. Mal means relics which you get from the charnel ground. Folks, Mouldiar means they got the relics. So Mouldiar Tola is Ashoka's, Ashoka's relic stupa next to Chintaman Chak. Next to the first, Ashoka's first sanghrama. So folks, Omolokia is Mouldiar, and Mouldiar means relics. So that is definitely Ashoka's relic stupa, folks. So you can see let's see what Xuan Zangs has to say about Ashoka's relic stupa, and because I am doing everything according to him, and then I'll show you Mouldiar Tola, the relic stupa, Ashoka's relic stupa, in satellite pictures, Google satellite pictures, and then you can view videos and photographs of the stupa. Folks, see, what happened was these stupas were massive mud mounds, and these stupas were massive mud mounds, and with time villages settled on them. Buddhists, you are very lucky that people settled on them, because by settling on them, they were at a height above their fields. They could see their fields from that height, and because it's protected them from the floods, they did not level down the stupas, and by living on the stupas, they kept the stupa name alive. So there you have Ashoka's relic stupa is Mouldiar Tola of Mokameh. Now, why Mokameh? See, Mouldiar Tola is the relic stupa, but there has to be a stupa is something to pray to, not to live on. A stupa is something to pray to, so there has to be a sanghrama nearby with a name similar to the stupa. That is Mokameh. Mokameh is the sanghrama in which the monks stayed, the pilgrims who wanted to pay homage to Ashoka's relics stayed. Folks, Mokameh, now Mokameh has become a big town, and Mouldiar Tola, the relic stupa, is just a colony of Mokameh. So folks, let's see what Xuan Zangs has to say. See, here's Xuan Zangs' book, Huen Tsang's book. He talks about the sanghrama. To the southeast of the old city, there is a sanghrama called Kyu Cha O Lan Mo, which is mistranslated as Kukutarma, but it is Kyu Cha O Lan Mo is Chintaman. Kyu Cha O Lan Mo is Chintaman. Chak is up here, Cha. So that is your first sanghrama, which is southeast of the old city, which I have shown you in my previous video. Now let's go down. What does he show us after this? By the side of the sanghrama is a great stupa called Omolokia, which has been again mistranslated as Amalaka. This is actually Mouldiar. Omolokia is Mouldiar Tola, which is the name of a fruit used as a medicine in India. Well, this is a different thing. Now, this is by the side of the sanghrama is a great stupa called Omolokia, which is the name, of a fruit of a medicine in India. Well, that's fruit of a medicine is a different story. King Ashoka having fallen sick, yes. So folks, this is his Ashoka's relic stupa, Omolokia, because it is Mouldiar. Understand? Now let's see what Fahin has to say. See, he also says by the side of the sanghrama, by the side of the top of Ashoka, there has been made a Mahayana monastery, very grand and beautiful. That is your Chintaman Chak, which I showed you in my previous video. So the Top is Ashoka's top, Ashoka's relic stupa is supposed to be next to Chintaman Chak, which is a Mahayana monastery. See up here. Let's go back to Huen Tsang. Up here he says, to the southeast of the old city there is a sangrama called Kyuchao Lanmo, and next by the side of the sangrama is a great stupa called Omolokia. Now let's see where Omolokia is. See, here is Chintaman Chak, that is the sangrama, which Ashoka made after a lot of thinking. Chintaman means to do a lot of thinking. Now let's enlarge this video and see, folks. This is Mouldiar Tola. Omolokia is Mouldiar. Omolokia next to Chintaman Chak. Omolokia. Mouldiar Omolokia. Understand, this is, and mul means rubbish got from a charnel ground. Mul means rubbish got from a charnel ground. Then the unique thing about this Mouldiar Tola is the people who live here are of the Mouldiar Gotra. They are the Mouldiar Gotra. Why Mouldiar Gotra? They were the recipients of Ashoka's relics. They were the recipients of Ashoka's relics. That means they are the descendants of Ashoka. The Ashoka's relic is 100% was given to his descendants. So folks, Mouldiar, they are the descendants of Ashoka, because they were the ones who received the mul. So folks, Mouldiar Tola is the top which has Ashoka's relics in it, which Xuan Zangs says is Omolokia, next to the Ashoka's first fruit, his first sangrama. And Huen also says Ashoka's relic stupa is next to the first sangrama, folks. So here it is. Check out pictures of Mouldiar Tola, which is Ashoka's relic stupa, folks, found. Ashoka's relic stupa has been definitely found. Okay, now this is Mouldiar Tola for you. The street you see, it is right on top of Ashoka's relics. Right on top of Ashoka's relics. The great ruler of India, the person who pushed Buddhism across the world, the person who sent his son and daughter to Sri Lanka is buried under the road up here, under these buildings, folks. This is Ashoka the Great's, relic stupa, Omolokia, according to Xuan Zangs. He called it Omolokia, that is Molokia, Mouldiar, and Mul means relics. So folks, this is Ashoka's relic stupa. The man, the monarch who pushed Buddhism across the world, who was basically the engine behind Buddhism. The Buddha, he imparted Buddhism, but Ashoka pushed it into the world, pushed it into Sri Lanka, folks, and pushed it into other countries, and his relics are buried here under this road, under this village, folks. According to Xuan Zangs, see, he is the only source of knowledge of Ashoka, all the Buddhist sites, because he has written very well. He said southeast of the old palace is Kyuchao Lanmo, that is Ashoka's first sangrama, which he made after a lot of thinking. It was his first fruit, a lot of thinking. That is what Chintaman means, Chintaman Chak. So Q Cha O Lan Mo is Chintaman and Cha is Chak. So folks, that is Chintaman Chak is the first sangrama, and then he says next to it is Omolokia Ashoka's relic stupa. So folks, Molokia is Mouldiar. Molokia is Mouldiar. And folks, Mouldiar Tola, and of course, see, now people have settled on it. The relic stupas were not to be lived on. They were to be prayed to. The stupas were to be prayed to. So you had to have a place nearby for monks to live and pilgrims to stay. That is a sangrama. The Mokameh was the sangrama. So since people lived in Mokameh, they superseded the name Mouldiar. And folks, Mouldiar, the people living on the sangrama of Mouldiar Tola are of the Mouldiar subgotra of Brahmanism. They are of the Mouldiar subgotra of Brahmanical, subcaste of Brahmanism. And they were the recipients. Why are they Mouldiar? Because they were the recipients of the Mul. They received their ancestors received the Mul. So, folks, they were the descendants of Ashoka. That is why they received the Mul. That is why they received the relics. So, folks, Mouldiar Tola with Mouldiar Gotra Brahmins living on it, they are the descendants of Ashoka, folks. And imagine it. Here we have the street, and below it is Buddhism's, main person who, advertised Buddhism across the world, folks. His relics are buried here, and his descendants are living on top of the relic stupa. Jai Ho Ashok, Samrat Ashok ki. Jai Ho Samrat Ashok ki. Folks, this is your Mouldiar Tola, and it is next to the river. You know, people enjoy the Ganges in the evenings. Folks, this is your Mouldiar Tola. Thanks Xuan Zangs. He is the one who showed me the relic stupa of Ashoka, the Buddhist king, the Buddhist monarch who was the one who advertised Buddhism to the world, folks. He is buried here. Thank you. So if you liked this video, please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Buddha Exhume.